Justice League number 22, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reis. This is the first part of Trinity War. I can only tell you, in terms of necessary required reading, you need Justice League of America and probably Justice League Dark as well. So anyway, getting into it, we see a woman is dropped off by a cab on this random location. She asks, like, oh, are you sure this is the place? And the cab driver drives off. And she's like, oh, no, wait, I must be in the wrong place. I don't see. And then she looks over and sees a building for a psychic. She's like, oh, no, this is where I need to be. And this building belongs to Madame Xanadu. And she welcomes her in and says, like, oh, yes, I didn't see you coming, which is kind of weird. But regardless, I can see you're in great pain. So let me help you. And the girl says, like, yeah, I have these dreams that, like, I was being set on fire, and then the flames went out, and I looked, and it was me. I was the one setting myself on fire. What does it mean? So she's like, okay, well, she reaches out a hand, and then immediately gets this flash of the future with a city on fire, and Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman just looking over it, saying, like, oh, there's nothing left to fight for. So Xanadu freaks out over that, and all she hears is one word of Trinity. And she's like, Trinity? What the hell is a Trinity War? So she starts flipping over tarot cards. And mind you, all these are not actual tarot cards. They're made up, but they all have superheroes on them. So first she flips a card with Shazam, and she's like, okay, well, it starts with this kid. What's he doing? So Shazam, for people who weren't reading the backup, fought with Black Adam and killed him, and now he's a pile of ashes. And so Billy Batson, the kid who becomes Shazam, is looking at the ashes, and she's like, what do I do with the ashes? I got to do something. Maybe, I know, I'm gonna fly to Kahndaq, which is his country, and I'm gonna scatter his ashes there. It's just, that seems right? And all of his brothers and sisters are like, dude, Kahndaq's kind of a no-fly zone. I don't think you should go there. And Billy's like, don't worry about it. Superman and Wonder Woman flew in there a few issues ago. It's cool for superheroes to go into Kahndaq. So then he flips two more cards, which is Superman and Wonder Woman. And they're coming out of Belle Reve prison for some reason. I think mostly to look after Despero from last issue. And Superman's like, hey, Wonder Woman, how do you deal with your, like, group to make sure they don't end up in prison? And she's like, well, I kill them. I make sure they don't return as problems. Superman's like, that's not cool. I actually have a big problem with that. And so they land, and they're just like, okay, maybe we should change the subject. It's not a big deal. Another card gets drawn. Pandora. Pandora shows up to Superman and Wonder Woman and just like, hey, I got this box. My name's Pandora. Can we chat? And basically says, like, Superman, here's the thing. Even if you don't believe in me, and he's like, no, you're Pandora. Like, Pandora's not real, right, Wonder Woman? He's like, nah, like all the gods and stuff, all myths are real. You should pretty much get used to that now, Superman. But more or less, he says, like, here's the thing, Superman, I think that you can eradicate the evil that I unleashed on Earth. Then we go to the Justice League of America stuff, where there's a new hero named Dr. Light. He got some powers that involve light stuff, and Colonel Steve Trevor and Amanda Waller are like, we're going to recruit him, and he's going to be our counter in the Justice League of America for the Justice League's Firestorm. And Trevor's like, I'm not sure he's going to join. Like, he's got a wife, and he's, like, very apprehensive to fighting against the Justice League. And Waller's like, well, tell him to do it, or else we're going to erase his wife's memory of him. And he's like, all right, that's really dark, but sure, yeah. So he says he's in. Then we go to Batman and the rest of the Justice League, who are trying to get all of their stuff out of the downed satellite that Despero crashed into Happy Harbor. And Atomica comes across, the Atom, comes across a chess set of all the different Justice League members. And he's like, oh, that's weird. Why do we have this? So back to the Pandora plot, she basically says, here's the deal, Superman. I think that you have the ability to withstand the evils of the box. So take the box and open it up, and all the evil should go back in. Okay, do that. So Superman grabs it, and immediately he is overcome with evilness. And Pandora's like, he should have been able to, it only amplifies if he has inner evil. There shouldn't be any evil in Superman. Why is there evil in Superman? New 52 sucks. So he starts fighting them. Pandora fires off some magic bullets at him, and he drops the box. And Batman calls in saying, hey, guys, we got a problem. And he's like, yeah, we got a problem too. Superman's evil. And Superman's like, oh, hold on. I dropped the box. I'm good now. Also, Pandora disappeared. She's like, oh, okay. Nah, never mind. We're good here. What's up on your end? And Batman says, hey, yeah, we just got an alert that Shazam is flying into Kahndaq. We kind of got to deal with that now. So they're ready to fly in. They realize Shazam is magic, so they call in Zatanna to help. We see Adam is alerting the JLA because she is a sleeper, not a sleeper agent, a double agent for them, that they're all flying into Kahndaq, and they make their way to the invisible jet. And it's at this point that the JLA is made aware that their entire purpose is to counter the Justice League. And they're like, we don't want to do that. Like, Justice League is cool. Like, if Superman says to do something, I'm pretty cool with just letting him do that because he seems like a nice guy. And Trevor's like, these are our orders. Anyone who doesn't like it, leave. You're not allowed back. And everyone's like, okay, well, I guess we'll go along with it. So at that point, we see Shazam land, and he's like trying to say something. He's like, well, you were an okay guy, I guess. And then all of a sudden, the Kahndaq army starts shooting at him. He's like, hold on, I'm trying to do something. They shoot at him. They break the urn. Black Adam's in, and Shazam gets pissed. He starts charging after them because they keep shooting at him. But then Superman flies in and just decks him. And he comes up and holds down Shazam and just be like, nobody wants to fight. Nobody has to die. Just stay down. And Shazam's like, well, you shouldn't have started the fight then. And he punches Superman, knocks him clear across the desert. And he's like, I just knocked out Superman. I just knocked out Superman. Oh my God, I gotta tell my family about this. But then Superman comes back, and Wonder Woman's there to help as well. They keep fighting against each other. And basically, the Justice League comes together and knocks Shazam on his ass. Just enough to get him down and just be like, dude, you're not allowed into Kahndaq. What are you doing? And he's like, you guys just came into Kahndaq. Why am I not allowed in? You guys suck. And Lee's like, all right, well, he's kind of rude, but, whatever. Zatanna's trying to get a lock on his magic and just be like, I don't know, man, this is some deep stuff. I feel like I've felt it before, though. But then all of a sudden a voice from the side shows up. It's Trevor. He's like, Justice League, we are here to escort you out of this country. And at that point, Wonder Woman's like, Steve, we know we're trying to get Shazam out. We're all for the same thing. And he's like, yeah, but you guys weren't allowed in here either. So on the authority of the JLA, you guys are walking out of here. And Shazam's like, I don't even, like, those guys just started shooting at me. Why aren't we yelling at them? They're also doing the wrong thing. And everyone's like, Shazam, shut the hell up. Okay, Steve, get your little imposter team out of here and we will leave. Like, that's the whole thing. But then they see the Air Force is starting to scramble up and all this crazy stuff's going on. We see Xanadu draw another card, and the woman that came in for the reading is just like, are you going to stop reading cards and tell me what's going on? Like, you've drawn like 15 of them so far. Like, we've got an issue. We see the Question is drawn, and the Question is doing his whole murder board with the yarn and all that connecting stuff. And he's like, all right, the question that I must solve now that Pandora is out in the open and the society will soon have her, is where is the evil truly coming from? And we see Phantom Stranger is also involved to some extent. Adam is saying like, oh, I never should have been part of the JLA. This was all a mistake. But anyway, the Justice League and the JLA are, about to butt heads with each other. And then Dr. Light speaks up and he's like, guys, we all want the same thing. Like, my wife always says that if we want the same thing, all we have to do is talk and we can make it work. Isn't that really like something that we should listen to? But then Dr. Light, because he's not in control of his powers, starts overcharging slightly. And he blasts out a beam at Wonder Woman accidentally. Superman gets pissed, flies up, grabs Dr. Light. Dr. Light's like, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't mean it. And then Superman heat visions his goddamn head off. And Xanadu freaks out. She's like, oh, God, this is the worst. Because now she came to a realization of what Trinity means. And she's like, I got to warn someone. Trinity means this very, very specific thing. And it's going to be the death of us all. And Superman's like, I didn't mean to heat vision him. And everyone's like, okay. So let's everybody just take a step back. This is not cool. But then we see the woman that came in from Adam Xanadu is actually a member of the secret society and was like, oh, hey, you can see the future. We need to get you off the board because you are big trouble if you get in the way of our plans. And so she reveals that she is actually plastique. She explodes and seemingly kills Madame Xanadu, as a huge battle has broken out between the Justice League and the JLA. And somewhere far away, watching all of this play out on a news station, is the outsider, who is the man from Justice League of America who's been running the secret society. And he's like, thanks to me, everyone will think Superman is responsible. Tee hee. Okay, so big start. I mean, they're literally just fully 100% into it of the battle has begun of Justice League versus Justice League of America. I do like the fact that they're already poking at, like, what exactly does Trinity mean? Because obviously for anybody who reads DC Comics long enough, you know that Trinity means Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. And the way that Xanadu talks here, you know that's not the case. You know it must mean something else. And so I believe we're led to be under the assumption that it is actually Pandora, Phantom Stranger in question. Because there's one point in this where Pandora's like, yeah, no, they're just the worst. They're all the worst. Pandora's the worst of them all, which I disagree with. And she acknowledges in this book that most people would, but for some reason, Pandora's the worst. So big start, super into it. I mean, this has always been in the plan of the New 52 since they started it. So it's nice to feel like we're really building to something and starting to get some big payoffs here. So overall, I'd say this is a really, like, interesting start. It really drags you into it. So I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 9. I'm into it. I like the art style. I like the way it's written, and it's a solid mystery going on with why did Superman just heat vision a man's brains out? So 9 for this. We'll see if we can keep pace over the rest of the issues. Next up is Justice League of America number 6, I believe. So check us out there.